6:45 is the time in your Smart Start this Thursday. Breaking news, tragic updates this morning from Kentucky where two Black Hawk helicopters from the 101st Airborne Division have crashed. Numerous fatalities reported. This was around 10 o'clock last night when they went down, and the cause remains unclear. We have been told this was a routine training mission that the two choppers were on. It's unclear exactly how many crew members were on board. But again, reported there have been multiple deaths. We'll be following that through CBS Mornings. Major news coming out of the Vatican today. Pope Francis is in the hospital with a respiratory infection. Vatican officials say this is not COVID. The 86-year-old pontiff has had difficulty breathing in recent days and will spend the next couple of days getting treatment at a hospital in Rome. He became Pope 10 years ago this month, replacing Pope Benedict, who resigned a decade ago. At the White House, the president asked for extra prayers for the Pope. The U.S. Senate has passed a resolution ending the COVID pandemic national emergency. The GOP-led resolution with bipartisan support passed in the chamber 68-23. The emergency order has been in place since 2020, 3 years since the pandemic hit. Now it goes to President Biden's desk to be signed. Majority Leader Chuck Schumer told Democratic colleagues that Mr. Biden does not plan to veto this. Following this week's elementary school shooting in Nashville that left 3 9-year-old students and 3 staffers dead, the gun control debate continues in Washington as it picks up again. While Nashville police are still looking for a motive, officers say they were not aware the shooter was under the care of a doctor for an emotional disorder. The shooter was still able to get 7 guns legally at 5 different stores. Some lawmakers are calling for restrictions on guns. Others say the mental health crisis is a bigger issue at hand. A vigil was held in Nashville last night to remember those victims, and with no solution appearing to come from Washington, local and state lawmakers are turning to Governor Kathy Hochul, who has proposed changes to New York's concealed carry laws, including allowing armed security guards at places of worship and other proposals that would offer clear guidelines for retired members of law enforcement. Democratic Congressman Joe Morelli from our area says there are limits to what you can do in individual states, and that's why he says federal officials need to take urgent action.
Unfortunately, in the interim, people are dying, and the response from too many folks who will not try to help solve this problem is, well, let's pray for the victims. Pray for the victims? I mean, we should pray for the victims, God knows, but that's not nearly enough.
Meantime, a number of Republican lawmakers statewide disagree with the governor's proposed changes as well as existing gun laws. Congresswoman Claudia Tenney among those, saying rather than targeting law-abiding gun owners with blatantly unconstitutional restrictions, the governor and Democrat majorities in Albany need to repeal their disastrous bail reform laws. New funding to help those affected by the racist Tops mass shooting in Buffalo has been announced. There were 10 people shot and killed there last May. Governor Hochul says $2.5 million will aid the Buffalo United Resiliency Center and provide it with necessary resources to continue its mission to help the victims and their families. Here locally, a business is putting up $10,000 in a reward to try to catch smash and grab thieves who hit up a Macedon Motorsports shop Wednesday night. And the owner says they're fed up because this is not the first time. This happened at Filer's Power Sports. Overnight, a truck crashed into the side garage twice. Authorities note 7 people were involved, taking more than $65,000 in merchandise. That is the second time in 6 months it has been hit. Local lawmakers are touting a boost in federal funding, which they say will provide high-speed internet to 100,000 New York homes. Those gathered yesterday to talk about this, the governor, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. The funding comes from the American Rescue Plan Act, and the goal is to close the digital divide by providing access to those who need it the most. Monroe County Executive Adam Bello has also announced a task force dedicated to improving internet access here in Rochester. 10 minutes to go until 7 o'clock. Let's check in with James Gilbert, our meteorologist, for your weather today. Lower 20s for a lot of people this morning, James.
Yeah, I think it's, people still trying to get out on that walk, and it is chilly. We are bundling up. And you could see some flakes out there. Light snow showers going to be possible. We're going to go with the heavy jacket, hat, gloves. Looks like a winter checklist here. That's because it pretty much feels like winter. Sunglasses, I'm going to check those off as well. A lot of sun throughout this afternoon. Always nice to see that, but it goes away ahead of showers. Maybe some thunderstorms. We're back to that summer feel by Saturday. in the extended forecast at the end of the show. Brennan.
See you in a couple of minutes. Thank you, James. Your roads this morning, again, take it easy out there. You can see some of the snow covering the buildings, some of the lawns there as well from our view this morning. Looking at the map, everything's showing up green. So again, just please be careful out there. Another update on your morning rush hour this Thursday morning coming up at about 7:25. Speaking of driving, it is that time of year when a big change happens. The Irondequoit Bay Outlet Bridge will open for boaters. The actual switch is tomorrow morning between 9 and 10:30. After that point, if you're in a boat, you can go from the bay to the lake, back and forth. If you're in a car, it is the long way around the bay for the next couple of months to get to Lake Road until the bridge moves again after Halloween. Cross-country runners at the School of the Arts are getting a welcome boost coming from Dick's Sporting Goods and the Brooks Foundation, donating 25 pairs of running shoes to the team along with $2,000. Those gifts were generously delivered to student athletes at SOTA yesterday. The team's coach tells us without the support, the sport wouldn't be the same.
I can't say even when myself growing up, we didn't have this kind of community support. Running is, by definition, a community sport. We think of it so often as individual, but running is best made in a community.
Takes a village, doesn't it? The coach adds that money will go directly to more resources for the team, including recovery equipment and entry fees for future cross-country meets. He adds it helps take some of the burden off the parents of those young students so they can run. The Greece School District's robotics team needs your help. It has the chance to make it big time, but the issue here for them is money. The Greece Gladiators Team 1591 dominated this year's Finger Lakes Regional First Robotics Competition with a major win. They have one more event coming up, a competition before Worlds, but the district says the trip to Worlds was not an expense it prepared for. Now they're calling on local businesses and community members to step up to make them able to take that trip. It is 74-year-old Marcelle Gramling from Geneva, this year's winner of our Remarkable Women series, which means she's going off to California in April to represent us, WROC, at a national event. She and 3 other finalists appeared here last night at 5:30 on News 8 as we had their family and friends watching along in studio to celebrate them. Gramling was nominated because of her remarkable faith and dedication to practically anyone and everyone who shows up at her door in need. She explains how she earned the title Mother Gramling when she and her late husband, Bishop Harry Gramling, led a church in Geneva.
The women that was following us in the ministry needed guidance. Some of them didn't have mothers. Some of them had mothers but was not mothers to them.
Sure.
And they lacked a lot of instruction with their lives. And I really had to talk to them about nitty-gritty stuff coming into the church.
Just incredible women there, all 4. To hear more of Gramling's story and the stories of the 3 other finalists, we've got that coverage posted in this story at rochesterfirst.com. As we near the end of March, tomorrow we also wrap up National Athletic Training Month. And 2 men credited with saving the life of Bill's safety DeMar Hamlin were honored for that at the state capitol. The life-threatening emergency we all watched on live TV Monday Night Football. Hamlin suffered cardiac arrest after a hit and collapsed on the field during a game against the Bengals in early January. His athletic trainers rushed to his side along with other first responders.
We worked extremely hard. It wasn't just one person, it was accumulation of all of us. And from Nate taking the head to myself on the side doing CPR, Dr. White maintaining the pulse. And I mean, just the fluidity of our communication was key. And Nate and I would both attest to it. What we do for our preparation in the summer leading into training camp, I think is first class.
Yes, it is. Their quick actions in training have also inspired so many others to learn CPR. And while being honored, the 2 were surrounded by other athletic trainers from across New York. Meantime, Hamlin was in Washington supporting legislation to increase access to AEDs. The proposal would improve the access for students to get them in schools, to have them on standby. Hamlin took to the podium explaining how important these life-saving devices are.
Sudden cardiac arrest happens to more than 7,000 kids under the age of 18 every year in our country. 7,000 kids every year. The majority of the kids impacted are student athletes. And research shows that 1 in every 300 youth has an undetected heart condition that puts them at risk. For schools that have AEDs, the survival rate for the children from sudden cardiac arrest is 7 times higher.
Under the legislation, funding would be included to help pay for the cost of AEDs and training. Great to see Hamlin, how he's doing now today.
It'll be the last day for kids as they wrap up this section of school as break begins Saturday, right? 8-day forecast here. Saturday's going to be a busy one. 60s, rain and wind.
And then 30s on Sunday.
Yes.
Incredible. All right. Thank you, James. Glad to have you watching us here this Thursday, News 8 at Sunrise. Stay warm out there. We'll see you back here in half an hour.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, Twitter, and on our app for news and weather.